Hello there, and thank you so much for popping into my channel. I'm Kate in the Nest, and it is sort of late on Friday evening here in New Zealand, and I am unpacking from my workshop. And it was my own workshop today after 2 days of workshopping with Fleur Woods. And I know quite a number of you have been following or coming to New Zealand with me. So I was excited just to unpack and to start stitching. And then, as always, I thought, well, if you're stitching and you know that there are people out there, why don't you just stitch along? Now, I have got a bit of, can you call it hay fever in New Zealand? I don't know, but my usual allergy. I'm wondering whether it's the air conditioning, because I tend to be sensitive about that. How about you? Does something in particular make you sneeze? But talking of sneezing, I'm hoping that you're not sneezing at the moment, that in fact you are well. And here I go again with the story of today and an update on, what I've been up to. I've got this here to start with because I have bought my memory keeper journal with me, and I have been writing in this each night. Now, I shared this earlier, I don't know, was it the end of the last year? And this is evolving, and I have a few more bits to put on it. But if you have asked about, did I continue the series? I don't know that I did continue the story of the evolution of this, but I do want to say it's in use every single day. And at night, when I'm practicing gratefulness and reflection, there is nothing better to put my hands on and say, well, it's just me. It's the eclectic story. And talking about being me, I did pop into a sticker store the other day, and these were there. I love stickers, and again, I just thought I hadn't seen any of those, and they're sort of like the theme of this experience and my work. So there you are, sending you flowers. I think it's actually almost Valentine's Day. It is. So I haven't made any hearts or anything, but I am sending you my heart, flowers, textiles, and stitch. And I'm battling a sneeze, but let's just go mind over matter. So Wellington collection is well underway. Toad of Hope came with me and has got some extra things, but it was time for new work today. And the thing that I needed most of all to hold my goodies in was a nest. And so by the time everyone got started, everyone was just, I'll talk a little bit more about the workshop and actually what we made in a little minute. But once everyone was settled, they do say they like to see me working, and it is a practice that I think is great during a workshop, because it's almost like just putting into practice what we are teaching. So I needed a nest, and I said, I'm going to make a nest, to which people said, of course you are. So this is my Wellington nest. It's carrying my spare wools. It's got a few little pieces that were featured in my kit as such. Some hand-dyed wool, that's a leftover bit that I had dyed, and some little woolly. So I'm unpacking that, and we will get started after a sneeze. There we go. So what I did is traced my beautiful plate that I showed you the other day on my shopping adventures. 2 rounds of blanket. This is, better just make sure, this is beautiful New Zealand blanket that I picked up very reasonably. New Zealand doesn't seem to have the challenges that some of us in other countries have. So I've doubled it round. It's a wonky wonky blanket circle. Then I've got a straight side, and I'm doing this one a little differently. One of my beautiful workshoppers said you're making it like lining a cake tin, and that's a great description, I think, because you know when you line a tin and maybe a cheesecake and you have the side standing up edges, that is what I'm doing here. Now, because you might know the history of my nests, these are the ones I brought over. I bought this floppy original nest that still is one of my favorites and is well traveled now. She is reversible, and on this one I let more of the blanket stay showing, and she holds a mixture of threads that we use during the day. Also here on the workshop with some Fleur ribbon is, see, I really just cleaned up everything at the end. They're my brushes from my gouache paint, random pins that the girl cleaning up the room helped me find, and I couldn't find a pin cushion, so I should have just put them on the side here. This is the bowerbird nest that was part of our challenge at the end of 2025, and this one has double blanket on the side, so it stands up perhaps a little bit firmer. I don't like them all to be firm, and I don't like them all to be floppy, because they serve different purposes. And the important thing for me is that's got things in it, this has got things in it, and they still stack. And in a suitcase, or if you're going on a holiday, it's just a beautiful way to bring your things with you. Projects can go in them, etc. So I don't need to convince you anymore about the versatility and love that I feel for my nest. So this one I have, as I said, double on the, is that going to take up too much room? It is. You got there. And apologies if the light isn't good, it's nighttime. Well, it's still light, but the sun's gone down. So 2 on the bottom, a single one around the edge of the same blanket, but I've deliberately started to make these, the wall of the nest, stand up with other bits of blanket. So it's really a story of New Zealand blanket. And as I said, this one I found in the thrift store. This is, all these other bits are part of the blanket that Maureen bought from the South Island up. And I was thrilled, and I think she was as well, thrilled to be able to share that with everyone this afternoon. This is the blanket that I used as the foundation of my kit, and those who wanted to make a pouch, this is the foundation. It's so pretty, and Michelle found that for me in downtown Wellington. So it's a story. I will always remember this day because I'm making a nest on it, and it's a bit of a funny shape, and we will attend to that. So I put the base and the sides, now adding bits of blanket and starting from the join to add little significant bits of scraps. So that's a scrap of sari. If you follow my Indian adventure, that is a piece of fabric that I bought in Chennai, and I've just, sort of ruched that as it went. So it's all sort of a bit schmiggly. Then another piece of silk from Chennai into another piece of blanket. So, see, you're curing me. So I have to say thank you. It was a great idea to make this video. So what have I got around me? This is quilting fabric, and it's part of a panel. I think I showed you that that I got it from my hometown, and I've just harvested it because I think it would look great as a garden somewhere on this nest. So, and with some little flowers sticking up. So, haven't quite put that in place. What else have I got? The beautiful Keisha found this in a fabric store and very generously offered me a piece. I love the knitting and I love the sequins, of course I do. And so let's harvest. And I've been saying to people, we have to embrace, those of us who love textile collage, that our vintage resources may not always be around. So, you know, as I've said, that I'm looking at quilting fabric, both new and old, to supplement the use of vintage textiles. So I've just cut that with a bit of net and a bit of sequin, and we'll see where that ends up. Here's another piece of silk. That could be part of the story. Again, with the Wellington collection, I was inspired by pink and green, and that's why I used this particular blanket, because it was pink and green and cream. Now, you can go round your nest before you put the wall on, or both sides, and then put it on. But today, because I was walking around talking and stitching at the same time, I'm adding the pieces as I go. So let's just get a needle out, Kate. Oh, there's a needle. And what thread? So we just had such a lovely sense of camaraderie. Like, I think after spending 5 days or 4 days of workshops together, by Friday afternoon, this afternoon, it was quite, I won't say rowdy, but lots of laughs, lots of funs, and a particular, like, I could go around the whole room and say how special it was to have everyone, but I need to just mention some of the girls who haven't watched me before, who have been on this experience, and Juliet, the born comic, had us all laughing and laughing this afternoon with her new bestie, Jen. And it was just lovely to see. You know, that's why I think, and I've said it to you many times, but I feel that I love this you know, experience. I can't call it work. It's just the spreading of the joy, really. That sequin piece, I could actually use it on the back because it's just beautiful both ways, and the net. Okay, let's actually stitch, Kate. I've got some pink variegated wool, and the nest is really bowerbird style whenever I make one, and you do you, because you will be different to me just by way of our existence. But this one very much is spontaneous, little bits all over the place. And I will take it, as I share with the girls this afternoon, I will take it with me when I travel to Perth. So it is already bound to be shared. bit of a stab. I haven't done that to myself in a little while, have I? There it was, the obligatory. Now, part of the joy of this for me is I go from one side to the other, but I've just looked over there and that's already got things on it. So for the moment, I won't add, well, I could add something there. That was donated by Mary. And there's the city siren. Has a bit of fleur. Fleur on the inside would be nice. So that is a leftover strip of fabric that Fleur gave to all of us. So that's the story of this scrap. And I'm doing this because I've got thread in my needle. No thinking, just follow your heart. And this one is completely unplanned. I often get a question about, what do you do in advance and how much do you plan? And there's a time for everything, particularly based on scale. It's good to design and lay out your bits, but in something like this, which the overall look is quite random and bowerbirdy, think of the birds out there gathering, flying all over the neighbourhood, getting a scrap from here and a scrap from there. That's the approach on this nest, and you're watching me live it in practice. There we are, all used up. And we'll finish it off on this side with a few stitches and into this fabric. I don't know whether that was the sound of my phone or not. I'll stand up and have a quick little check. No, we're still going. This probably won't be a long one. But I did think I haven't shown you how to make a nest for a while. This became a popular, do you think I could use, I don't think I will on this piece, but I will actually, because that's just asking to be ripped off. I don't want to cover that bit. So I'm looking at somewhere where I could just drape that over. Our idea at this point is to add layers that will add to the story. And see, I can live with that aqua. Lots of people use that today, and it was just such a lovely pop. Let's go back to this piece, which is not a scrap, it's brand new. Quilting fabric, but I could layer it over something. Actually, it's a bit. for another sneeze. That's not too bad in between sneezes, is it? Phew. Okay, but I did lose what I was thinking about doing. I had that. I was talking about putting that on. You'll have to remind me. Oh, I was doing that pink. I tell you, I know this is hay fever or some sort of allergy because I'm just like a tap. Okay. I've got this little bit of frill and I've got that pretty flower and I've deliberately left that as a dingle dangle. This is the Society of Gatherers. That's what I was coming up with. I need a frill. I might do it this way. Let's change colour. And it doesn't really matter. I could, I probably shouldn't be using my good wools, but every wool is good. Every thing is there to be used, except where have I put my needle? I know it drives everyone crazy. Sorry, my friends. It is genuine, it is real. Then I had a needle and now I can't see it. So I happen to have some here. People ask me about how I choose what thread. Because I'm from a very undisciplined background, I just go to what's closest to me. And certainly, as I've often quoted, Kelly May Krenz says if you're slow stitching, she likes to see in like the snippet scrappy style. It's good to see the stitch. So there we are. That is my needle. I'm putting it in that nest straight in front of my eyes and it should stay there. Okay, so we've got this. We've got that. And we've got the frill. So, I think I'm feeling, I'm actually not settled on that. So let's, when in doubt, don't. So let's lay the groundwork for this flower. So I suppose in a way I've got that mauvey flower moving to this big obvious applique stitches. To get this in position. Get that big pin out of the way. I'm going into running stitch. just by this lovely, the rhythm of the stitching, you find yourself thinking about what you might do next. So it's totally free, no rules, and a nest is a good thing to practice on. If you're new to a very free-form, messy, scrappy style, you know, I suggest that you try a nest. Now, before I was putting that up there, but because I was thinking and talking to you, I'm actually thinking that the frill might come under that flower, because it's about texture, about interest, about story. And I can come back and thread paint. That's why I put this fabric into what I provided, because all of us have favourite things to do. Many slow stitches, it is the thread paint that is. So thinking of thread painting, we're going to do some just really wild big stitches to get this down. And to bring it, that could have been a pocket, but I think it will be a pocket actually. It'd be a shame to miss that opportunity. So let's go down here. There's just an extra bit of blanket I put on. Let's go underneath. Back down to the linen frill. Oops. Now let's do some stitches. I'm going through the quilting fabric onto the linen and out that side. And so ironically now the dangle has become like a little apron string that will be the bridge across the pocket, across this little bit of pink blanket. Still got thread in here, so we'll just keep going with the running stitch. The other reason I'm doing this video, because the uploading here in Wellington is incredibly fast. So I was thinking of Aussies Friday night. Northern Hemisphere hasn't started to be your weekend yet, or even Friday. Oops. Here's a Susak, it's obviously a part of a scrap from something that Mary's made out of a tablecloth, a little bit of a daffodil shape there. So in terms of a garden, could we put this here and move it round? To there. come up. And we'll go back. Oh. Join that. See, quite coincidentally, that branch there has joined with that flower. Who would have ever guessed? Like this. Then we'll go down to this side. So we're in the middle of the nest. Oh, and peekaboo. We have some flowers appearing here. Going back up. And really, I'm just playing. You can see that I've just relaxed. And by the next time you see it, there will be very little of this blue showing and a lot more of the scrappy bits. Let's have a look at that. So, I hope I haven't been stitching completely off the table for you, but if I have, I know you'll forgive me. So, here is the beginning of a bowerbird Wellington nest that will not stay like that. It will be covered over layer upon layer. All sorts of fabric in back. That's pretty, isn't it? I saw someone use this afternoon. I thought, wow, that looks... Let's spin the garden over that one. I could stay here all night with you, but I'm not. So around, frill here, added some flowers, another frill, a join, a dangle, and inside we've got flowers. So there we are. I don't have a favorite bit yet, but I do like the use of both vintage, new and old fabric. So thank you so much. It's a quick one, but I'm sure you'll understand that little bit of sparkle will go on as well. Please keep well, please keep stitching, and I'll see you again probably tomorrow. 99, bye.